Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear Falconians of level 7. Here is your science teacher, Miss Saida Tereshasan from Falcon House Grammar School Campus 9. So, my dear students, today we are going to start our new chapter of final term, that is chapter number 8 of your book, and name of the chapter is Simple Chemical Reactions. So, let's start the discussion about chapter number 8. First of all, we are going to discuss that what is chemical reaction. As you all know, the name of the chapter is Simple Chemical Reaction, so we should all know that what is chemical reaction. As we already learned about different chemical reactions in previous topics, but today we are going to discuss more about chemical reaction. So simply, first of all, the question is, what is a chemical reaction? So here is the answer of what is a chemical reaction. Atoms rearrange to create one or more new compounds. In other words, we can say that old bonds break and new bonds form. Or in simple word, we can say that two or more than two elements or compounds react together or mix together and form some new product, some new compounds. This is called chemical reaction. And always remember that when we are talking about chemical reactions, so the composition should be fixed, and the elements or the compounds which are reacting with each other, they all are reacting chemically and they are producing new product with new properties, right? Here you can see the picture in front of you on your screen, in which practically they are showing a chemical reaction. In the old one, means in the on the left hand side, we have a bottle of hydrogen peroxide topical solution. It's just a simple solution, hydrogen peroxide, and as they are saying that it is hydrogen peroxide, it means two of the elements are present in it, that is hydrogen and oxygen. And when these two elements are present in it, so it means it's not an element, it's a compound. So in the old picture, it is a solution of hydrogen peroxide. But you can see over here that when we are going to add oxygen in this hydrogen peroxide, so what will happen? The foamic creature will start coming out from it, means the reaction take place and a new product is formed. It's a foamic material, right? So in easy words, you can say that in chemical reactions, two of the things are most important. On the left hand side, we have reactants, and on the right hand side, we have products. Means the elements or the compounds which are reacting with each other, they are always present on the left hand side, and whatever new compound will form in the result of this reaction, we called it product, and that is always on the right hand side. Here you can see the explanation of chemical equation as well. As we all know that in chemical reaction, there are two type of things are present. One are the reactants and other one are the products. So here you can see it's a sort of chemical equation by which we are representing the chemical reaction. Actually, chemical equation is the source which we use to write down any of the chemical reaction, right? So reactants convert into products, or we can say reactants and products can be represented by using any of the chemical formula or the name of the compound. As we already learned about the chemical formulas, the symbolic form of the different types of elements and compounds, in which they are showing the exact ratio of the elements which are present in a fixed composition. This is all what we have already done in our previous chapter, so it is the continuity of those chapters. So here we can say the chemical equation is basically the representation of different chemical reactions. So how we are going to write those chemical reactions, how we are going to represent those chemical reactions? We always represent or write those chemical reactions with the help of chemical equations. Here you can see a very common chemical equation which we commonly use as an example in our physical classes as well, that the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen and the formation of water molecule. Here you can see that two atoms of hydrogen are reacting with two molecules of hydrogen are reacting with one molecule of oxygen and forming two molecules of water. Now here, first of all, I took the name atom, but I did the correction over here that we cannot call it atom because the composition is H2 over here. You can see H2 is written over here. So you all know that when we are saying H2, it's mean that two of the hydrogen atoms are present in this formula. So that's why it is no more an atom, as we all know that two of the hydrogen atoms are combining to form this H2, so it means it is a molecule. And as 2 is written over here, so it means it's two molecule of hydrogen. Now here you can again see this 2 is present over here with the O, means oxygen, so it means that two of the oxygen atoms are combined over here to form oxygen molecule. And here they write 1. If they do not write anything, it's mean it's understood 1. We never mention 1, but for making it more clear, they mention 1 over here. So it means that it is a one molecule of oxygen. And on the product side, we have two hydrogen atoms combined with one oxygen atom, and it's a complete composition of a water molecule. So under this reaction, when two of the hydrogen molecules reacting with one of the oxygen molecule, they are forming two molecules of water. Why we call it molecule? Because three of the different elements are present in it. Two of the different elements are present in it. One is the two atoms of hydrogen, and second one is one atom of oxygen. So as we all know that when three atoms are combining and forming a molecule, a compound, we always call it molecule, because atom is always single, and when we have two or more than two atoms in a combination, we call it molecule. So here you can see that two molecules of hydrogen are reacting with one molecule of oxygen and forming two molecules of water. This is how the chemical equation can be right about any of the chemical reaction. Now let's move forward. Here we can see on the screen that chemical reactions can do what? They can absorb or release energy. And one more property of chemical reactions could also be discussed over here, that they could be fast or they could be slow. Means some of the chemical reactions are very fast while some of the chemical reactions are very slow. But during every single chemical reaction, two of the things can be happen. One, maybe they can absorb the energy and change themselves into new product, or maybe they can release the energy and change themselves in a new product. In any of the chemical reaction, only these two mechanisms can take place. Sometimes they absorb energy and sometimes they release energy. You can see different type of chemical reactions present on your screen. Like for example, if you are going to take the example of an ice, if you are going to put the ice cubes in the dining table, on the dining table in a room temperature, so what will happen? These ice cubes are going to absorb the heat from their surrounding and start melting or changing their state and start converting into a liquid from solid. So what is happening over here? They are absorbing energy. Similarly, you can see the picture of the frying pan and the egg is present on the frying pan. We are cooking the egg over here. So how the egg is going to cook? When we are going to on the burner, right? Or when the egg is going to absorb the heat, then it will going to cook and convert into a cooked egg, right? Here you can see another picture over here of a rocket which is start its journey towards the space. So how it is starting its journey? By releasing the heat. It is releasing the heat. It is not absorbing the heat, it is actually releasing the heat. So when the fuel is present inside this rocket, it will going to burn and release the energy. Then this rocket will going to move towards the space. So in this way we can say that there are multiple type of reactions taking place around us, but some of the reactions are absorbing energy while some of the reactions are releasing energy. So here are two mechanisms of the reactions of each and every reaction taking place in this whole universe, having only two main mechanisms or following only two mechanisms, whether they are releasing energy or whether they are absorbing energy. So when we talk about the releasing of energy, we said it exothermic reactions, in which exo means release, exit, and therm means heat. So the reaction which are taking place by the release of the energy, such type of reactions are called exothermic reactions. While when we are talking about another mechanism, that the reactions taking place by the absorption of energy, so we call it endothermic reactions, in which endo means taken in or absorb something and thermic means again heat. So the reactions which are taking place by the absorption of heat are called endothermic reaction. So guys, always remember over here that when we are talking about the mechanism of the reaction, whatever the reaction taking place in the whole universe, they have only two mechanisms, whether they are going to release the energy and they are called exothermic, whether they are going to absorb the energy and they are called endothermic, right? Okay, now another thing which we already discussed in the previous slide, that reactions can be fast or reactions can be slow. So the speed of the chemical reaction is different for all the reactions. Some of the reaction take place very quickly, very suddenly, that we are unable to even record the rate of the reaction. They are so fast. But some of the chemical reactions took days to be complete. So it depends upon how favorable the reactants are with each other, or how reactive the reactants are which are involved in that chemical reaction. So here, reaction rate activity. So the speed of the reaction going from reactants to product is called reaction rate activity, which we used to calculate to find out how much time the reaction is taking place to completely convert into product, right? Now here one more important thing in front of you, that is a law of conservation of mass, or we can also say it law of conservation of matter. Basically this law is telling us about every chemical reaction that the mass cannot be created, neither be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form to another. It means that whatever the quantity of reactants we are utilizing in any of the reaction, the product which is forming against those reactants should be equal in mass to that reactant. Simple. If you are going to cook 1 kg of meat, so after cooking, if you took 1 kg of raw meat to cook, so after cooking, will it become half kg or will it become 2 kg? No, it will remain 1 kg. So basically they are trying to tell us that whenever we use a particular quantity of reactant, because when we are talking about chemical reaction, we always say that the compounds which are reacting with each other, or the elements which are reacting with each other, they are always reacting in a fixed ratio, in a proper ratio, and they are forming a compound which is always in a fixed ratio with a new chemical properties, right? Although the physical properties. So basically this law is telling us that whatever the quantity of reactants we are utilizing for any of the reaction, the product which is producing in the result of that reaction, that should be equal to the quantity of the reactant. So this is what the thing by which we can understand that why we always write the chemical equations in balanced form, because it's a law that whatever the quantity of reactant is utilizing in any reaction, the same quantity of product is going to form. So the reaction, the chemical equations what we are writing, we are actually representing those chemical reactions now. So it should be necessary to write the chemical equation in a balanced form. So everything must be equal, and when matter goes through a physical or chemical change, the amount or mass of the substance that you begin with must equal the amount or mass of the substance that you end with, right? So before mass must is equals to the after mass, must be equal to the after mass, right? Now here, how do we balance chemical equation? Use a pencil, identify the reactants and products, and make a table. It's very simple. Look over here. How do we balance the chemical equation? Here you can see the equation in front of you on your screen, that is H2O2 means hydrogen peroxide is forming oxygen and water, right? It's forming oxygen and water, releasing oxygen and water. So what we are doing over here, we have to calculate what is the quantity of hydrogen is present on both of the sides, on the reactant side as well as on the product side, and what is the quantity of oxygen present on the reactant side and the product side. So all of you take out your pencils and take a rough notebook and start doing the balancing of equation. Here you can see that 2 of the hydrogen atoms are present over here, and on the product side again 2 of the hydrogen atoms are present over here, right? Now here you can see that 2 of the oxygen atoms are present over here, while here you can see 2 oxygen plus 1 oxygen means 3 of the oxygen atoms are present over here. So here the oxygen atoms are not balanced in between the reactant and the product. So what we are going to do, we have to add oxygen over here. How we are going to add? The rule of adding any of the number is that you can add only the digit over here on this place. So what you are going to do, you are going to write 2 over here. So in this way 2 2s are 4 oxygen. Now if we have 4 oxygens over here, so what will happen over here? We have 3 oxygens over here. So what we have to do again, we are going to add 2 over here again. So in this way the oxygen become 2 and this 2 become 4. 2 plus 2 4. So here will be 4 oxygen, 2 2s are 4, and here is 4 oxygen, 2 plus 2 4. So in this way the oxygen become balanced between the reactants, between the reactant and the product. Now we are going to discuss the types of reaction. There are different types of reaction. Mechanisms are two, whether they are releasing energy or whether they are absorbing energy. But the types are there are multiple types of reactions are present in our universe. First one is synthesis. Synthesis means the making of the new product, right? 2 or more than 2 substances combine together and form a new product. Here you can see the example in front of you, when 2 atoms of sodium is combining with 1 molecule of chlorine. So what will happen? Sodium chloride. 2 molecules of sodium chloride will form. And what is this sodium chloride? Do you know that? This sodium chloride is the common salt which we are using in our homes. So this type of reaction is called the synthesis reaction. Synthesis means that two or more than two simple substances are combined together and form a new product. Now you can see the another type of chemical reaction, that is decomposition reaction. Decomposition means the breaking. To break something. Decompose something means to break something. Or something is going to be break. That is we called decomposition. So it means any of the substance which is going to break into two or more than two new products, that is called decomposition. Here you can see a general example. The egg is present over here. When it will break, a tortoise came out from that egg. So the new product which came out from this egg after the decomposition or the breaking of this egg. Here you can see the chemical reaction also, that H2O2 hydrogen peroxide will going to decompose into oxygen and water. Now here is another type, that is single replacement, or we can also call it single displacement reaction, in which one of the member of a compound is going to be replaced by another element which is present on the reactant side, and new product will form. Here you can see that AB is reacting with C, so C is going to replace this B and form AC, and the B will going to remain alone. This is called single member is replacing, so that's why this is called single replacement or single displacement as well. Here you can see the example of a chemical equation as well. Lithium chloride, Li for lithium, Cl for chloride. Lithium chloride is reacting with bromine. So what bromine is going to do? Bromine is going to replace this chlorine over from here, and it will become lithium bromide, and chlorine gas will going to evolve. This is how the single replacement or single displacement reaction took place. Here is another type, is called double replacement or double displacement reaction. Here you can see both of the compounds are going to exchange their partners, like AB plus CD. In this, D is going to replace B, while B is going to come to attach with C. So it will become AD and BC. Both of the reactants which are taking place in this reaction, in both of the reactants, each member is going to replace themselves with the another member. Here you can see the chemical example as well, that when calcium fluoride CaF2 is going to react with lithium sulfate, means LiSO4, so what will happen, this sulfate ion is going to replace this fluoride ion, and this will become calcium sulfate plus lithium fluoride. Just two of the members are going to replace themselves with each other, so that's why we called it double replacement reaction or double displacement reaction. Now the next type is combustion reaction. We can also call it burning. Means combustion means to combust something, means to burn something, right? So burning reaction or the combustion reaction is always take place in the presence of oxygen. So whenever any of the thing is going to burn in the presence of oxygen, it will produce heat or light, whatever it will going to produce, that is called combustion reaction. Here you can see the example, chemical example also, that when methane gas yani ki CH4 is going to combust in the presence of oxygen, means it's going to burn in the presence of oxygen, the carbon dioxide and water will going to produce. Now where we can see this example in our daily routine life? In our home, in the kitchen, in the stove, the gas which is coming out from the stove is methane. And when the oxygen in the air is going to react with that methane, when we are going to burn that stove, what will happen? The flame which is coming out, it is producing the gas. Which gas it is producing? That is carbon dioxide. and water vapors are also found around that stove, right? So here is the type of reaction that is called combustion reaction or the burning reaction. Now this is all about this whole chapter, that is simple chemical reactions, and I hope it will be very helpful. This video will be very helpful for you to understand the whole chapter. And after watching this video, go through the chapter in your book as well, where you can find more examples regarding these types of chemical reaction. In this chapter, what we learned about the mechanism of the chemical reaction, that is only two types, exothermic and endothermic, and we learned the different types of chemical reactions, like the synthesis chemical reaction, like the single displacement or the double displacement or the combustion. These are the types of the chemical reaction. And also one more thing which we learned in this chapter, that is law of mass of conservation, in which we learned that whatever the quantity of product, whatever the quantity of reactant we are using for any of the chemical reaction, the same quantity of product will going to form after the reaction. No matter, though no quantity of mass will going to be changed throughout the chemical reaction. That's why we need to write balanced chemical equation. Thank you, students. Take care and solve the given assignment.